Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Wednesday, the 17th of November 2021. The time is just 4:20 GMT in the morning. Asian session coming to close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday then, Tuesday the 16th, we had a negative opposed driver in the yen at minus 200. Front and back door flows mainly going into the pound at plus 159, into the dollar at plus 110, and the euro is the negative rock at plus minus 69. Activity plus or minus 269. Intra-week then becoming more relevant. This is from Monday the 15th, open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a negative opposed driver in the euro, minus 286. Front and back door flows mainly going into the pound at plus 235, into the dollar at plus 226, and the yen was the negative rock at minus 175. Activity plus or minus 461. Right, so yesterday we had a weak yen driving mainly positive flows into the pound and the dollar, and the euro was a little bit soft, but out of the game really. And then over the week, you've got this euro weakness driving minus 286, driving positive flows mainly into the pound and the dollar, and the yen is soft as well, and we've had sort of a negative equity transmission there on the yen. So if you look at the rotation in the flows, excuse me, you can see that we had this euro negatively driving over the week, and the euro was slightly soft yesterday. But the main soft was the yen, and if you look, so the euro is starting to think about strengthening up, and if you look at the Asian session, which is today the 17th, from open to about 15 minutes ago, we've got a positive opposed driver in the dollar at plus 25, front and back door flows mainly coming out the euro at minus 15. Out the pound at minus 14, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 4, activity plus or minus 29. So whilst you've got this hint of euro strength, we've still got in the Asian session we've got dollar strength driving mainly out of the euro. So we've still got euro weakness, but we've had this hint of a change in the flows. So we're not there yet. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the Asian flows. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is weak except against the AUD, the yen is strong except against the dollar, the pound is weak except against the euro, the AUD and the Swiss is weak except against the euro and the AUD, the CAD is strong except against the yen, the dollar and the NZD, the AUD is weak across the board, the NZD is strong except against the dollar and the yen, and the dollar is strong across the board. So what have we got? We've got dollar strength across the board, AUD weakness across the board. We've got secondary strength in the yen, apart from the dollar, and we've got secondary weakness in the euro, apart from the AUD. So what's going to knock it about, or has knocked it about? Well, today, Wednesday the 17th, we've got light tier 2 data, and we've also got GBP CPI and Bank of Canada CAD CPI effectively. So we've got two inflation tier 1 events today, and Thursday the 18th, tomorrow, it's light tier 2 data, so we've got a little window of Thursday, and Friday the 19th we've got ECB President Lagarde's speech, and we've got CAD retail sales. So really you're looking at today you're looking at more inflation data coming out, and light tier 2. Tomorrow it's pretty light across the board, and Friday you've got this speech and CAD retail sales. So that's something to bear in mind. We'll stop it there and write up the asset classes. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index, it's pretty much at the highs. It's plus 0.40 from the resistance, so it's broken in model terms 40%. So the dollar had a good pump up yesterday, and gold is actually paying attention to this a little bit. It came off, it's 0.25 from the high, although it's still relatively high considering the strength of the dollar. Oil did this break and it's come back. It's 0.29 from the high. It's come off nearly 30% from the high. Wall Street S&P Tech. Now Wall Street's come off. It's 0.125 from the high. It's an eighth off the high. And the S&P and the tech are at or near their highs, so that's something to bear in mind. You're starting to get a little bit of divergence between Wall Street, S&P and the tech. Right, US 10-year and the bund. Now the US 10-year, this is the price. US 10-year is pretty much at the floor in terms of price, so yields have strengthened up significantly, whereas the bund has bounced up in price. Yields have come off. It's 0.38 from the high, well above half mark, so you've got a significant divergence in yields between the US and Europe at the moment. Copper, been chopping about. It's 0.40 from the floor, so it's below half marks. It's soft, and it's about mid-range. US steel, 0.36 from the high, above half marks, about a third off the high. Right, so we'll rub that out and then do the final analysis then. So yesterday we had a relatively strong retail sales in the US, and then we had sort of a bit of Fed speak starting to talk about quickening up the taper, and end result is the dollar started charging up a bit. So dollar, euro, yen, pound. Right, so the dollar's pretty high in terms of the dollar index, relatively speaking, and the euro's been soft. The yen has got this equity negativity on the transmission, and the pound has been sucking in the opposing positive flows, and we've got the CAD, the AUD, and the NZD and the Swiss. Right, so if you look at if you look at the weekly situation, then we've got euro is the negative opposed driver, and you've got it mainly going into the pound and the dollar. Yesterday we got this yen taking over the negativity of driving, and the euro starting to think about coming up. And in the Asian session, we've got the dollar strong, and the euro and the pound weak. So you've got yen strength, dollar strength, yen, dollar on the positive, and euro, pound on the negative. Well, yen and dollar on the positive are risk-off flows, and if you look at the AUDs, the weak across the board. The NZD is however strong, and the CAD is strong. So you've got mixed risk-off flows, but the Asian session is sort of playing ball with this dollar strength and euro weakness. So and if you look at the economic events today, we've got light tier 2, GBP CPI, and the Bank of Canada CPI as well. So we've got inflation data. So it's going to sort of reinforce this or not this sort of inflation trade. And so what do we think is going to happen then? So as we said, the euro is starting to show signs of bottoming out, but it's not there yet. In the Asian session, they all just sold the euro off the back of the stronger dollar. So that shows the market is not convinced we've hit a floor in the euro yet. So we're likely to get further euro weakness. And if you get euro weakness, and you've got equities starting to really go, and the dollar index has broken on the up. So if the dollar starts really punching up, equities are not going to particularly like it. So equities are going to be so the yen's going to be neutral to soft probably, depending on what's going on. So you've got flows out of the euro and potentially out of the yen, and so they've got to go somewhere. So you're left with the pound and the dollar, and the dollar seems to be strong. So you're likely to see negative flows out of the pound and out of the euro. So that's basically where we are in the Asian session. You're likely to see a continuation of that unless something materially changes. So you want to be they're likely to want to accelerate this weakness in the euro. And if you look at the bond yields relative to the US 10-year, there's starting to be a big divergence there. So there's a sort of a rationale behind selling the euro. So the market likes to rub it in. We think the euro then today is going to be the big loser. So that's where we are. So you want to be short the euro, and it's whatever you want to be short the euro against. So you want to be short the euro probably against the dollar, and interestingly, the New Zealand dollar is strong. So you could have a look at shorting it against the New Zealand dollar, but there's mixed transmissions there. So anyway, that's where we are. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow for the daily briefing. Goodbye.